Hey there, church. I'm standing here in our parking lot on the spot where we're going to be setting up some tables and chairs and some pop-up tents on Thursday. We're welcoming our drive-through dinner guests as usual, but this time we're going to welcome them to pull around and bring their meal into the parking lot and sit down and eat a meal. You know, when we started this dinner, we were thinking a few things about why we were doing it. We thought, well, there are people in our community who genuinely need help with a little more food, so let's bless them with an extra meal. Then we thought, well, there are people in our community that need help with a little more time because the time demands on them are just so great. So let's help them with a meal that frees up their time. And as we've been continuing with this meal, we've been listening to what it means to people. And for sure, there's some people who talk about how having an extra meal is a blessing, or they were driving by and they saw the sign and said, oh, thank goodness, there's a meal I can just pick up and I don't have to make dinner tonight. But there have been people who are coming back again and again, and they're also talking about their lives. Like, this meal is not just about the food, it's also about a relationship. That here is a church with people who care, who ask how they're doing, who continue to extend grace month after month. And so what we're doing now is experimenting with another way of understanding food, which was really central to the ministry of Jesus. Yes, Jesus fed people who were hungry, feeding 5,000 and 4,000 with a couple of loaves and fish. But a lot of Jesus' eating was very social, that he ate to build relationships. He ate with people who were lonely. He ate with people who he wanted to get to know better. And so, you know, the drive-through dinner is kind of developing more and more layers that I think are getting deeper and deeper into who Jesus is in our community and what Jesus is about in our community. So my encouragement to you is to come to the drive-through dinner and pull up a chair and eat maybe with someone from CPC, but also eat maybe with someone from our community that we have a chance to get to know, to build some relationships with in the context of the drive-through dinner. Yes, there are some thunderstorms forecast for Thursday evening. So we'll be keeping an eye on the weather, and obviously we're not going to have people sitting out here in a thunderstorm. But hopefully things will work out well, and we'll have a lovely time sitting down with our neighbors. This Sunday, we are going to have a financial information session that looks at the mid-year financials, and there are some encouraging things that we are going to be able to share. There will also be some things that we said in our annual meeting about how we are operating on a deficit budget this year, which is not something that we plan to do long term, but is something that we recognize is necessary in the short term, and exactly where that stands and how things are looking into the last half of 2023 and into 2024. So I encourage you to take part in that information session. Bring your questions, bring just a listening attitude for where things are with Christ Church. And I certainly bring my gratitude to that session for how so many have been faithful givers and have been financially committed to the ministry of CPC. So thank you for that. We are God's church, and the Holy Spirit continues to lead us in loving God, sharing relationships, serving others from the heart of Christ.